Well, it's time now for our panel with political journalist John Fund and Stephanie Hamill, contributing writer for the Media Research Centre. I tell you what, you two, it was the most incredible hour and a half of television I have watched in a very long time. And of course, Trump went hard on the border, as we all sort of expected he would, because it's one of the biggest campaign issues for Trump and one of the biggest campaign issues in this election because Biden has been so weak. He went in for the kill, and I think he landed the shot. Take a look.
We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime.
And John, Biden really didn't have any comeback at all.
When this debate is analyzed, it won't be about the issues. You're right that Biden lost the immigration debate, but what really happened is a train wreck of American democracy tonight. I think that there were three decisions that were made in this run-up to the election that have proven a catastrophic failure. The first was in 2020, the Democrats panicked that Bernie Sanders was going to be their nominee, and COVID hit, and they decided to all pivot to Biden, even though they knew he was out of touch, weak even then, and not the strongest candidate. Then they doubled down because of identity politics. They picked Kamala Harris basically because she was an African-American woman. And it turned out that she was a disastrous vice president, but that may be the one candidate they're stuck with if they replace Biden. And the third decision, I think Stephanie will agree with me on this, is the media. Back in February, Joe Biden had a physical at Walter Reed Medical Center. It was a 5-paragraph summary. The doctor, the president's personal physician, said he was perfectly fit for duty. He acknowledged, though, that he had not given the cognitive test, and he refused to answer any questions from reporters. That should have been a fire bell in the night, a 9/11 moment where the press should have done its job and said, we cannot have someone run for president who's clearly engaged in a cover-up. And everybody knew there was a cover-up, and reporters covering the White House knew this. And they didn't tell the American people, so they had to learn about it themselves tonight. This is a monumental failure of democracy. The Democrats are now in three camps. Those who are despairing, saying we're stuck with Biden as our nominee. He may take the entire party down with him. That's what Democratic congressmen were saying at a watch party on Capitol Hill last night. The second group are just depressed because they're going to be stuck with Kamala Harris, who's even less popular than Joe Biden. And the third group, the optimists, say, maybe we can get Michelle Obama to run. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's where the Democratic Party is tonight. And American democracy is in a crisis, and the media, frankly, should cancel itself because it's canceled itself into irrelevance by not reporting the biggest story of the year.
Well, Stephanie, John mentions the media there. I don't think anyone can really deny now the mental state that Biden is in, and you have started to see some of that unravelling tonight. You know, even the CNNs of the world are not able to deny now exactly how bad a shape Biden is in.
This debate for Biden was a complete and total dumpster fire. So much so that I watched over an hour of CNN after the debate, and not one talking head, not one panelist said he did a good job. It was so bad that even Vice President Kamala Harris said he had a slow start. She admitted that. It was so bad that CNN, a reporter on there, said that there was a report that a congressman said it was so bad that he wanted to jump off of a bridge. I listened to the CNN panelists talk about how there should be a replacement for Joe Biden. This was a serious conversation being had. I almost had to pinch myself because I couldn't believe that all of these things were being said on CNN with all of these sycophants who are on there who love Joe Biden. Now, they still say they love Joe Biden, but they said it's time to do some soul searching. And after tonight's performance, I agree with that. Think about what happened this past week. Biden disappeared to Camp David to prepare. They put on a production for him to prepare for this. He knew everything that was coming at him, and he couldn't even be on point for the topics that are most important for the Democrats, such as abortion I mean, he completely blew it on abortion. He blew it on immigration. He blew it on the economy. I mean, Trump completely mopped the floor with Biden in a polite way, which is what a lot of Republicans and independents were hoping that they would see on stage as a diplomatic and very controlled Trump. And that's what we saw tonight.
If they do not replace Biden, John, they cannot win the next election. I'll make the call. I don't think they can win the next election with Biden. If they do replace him, it's a very different game.
Well, let me stipulate, I don't think Donald Trump had a great night either tonight. I don't think he was diplomatic. I think he was typically Trump. Ironically, the debate rule that the Biden people insisted on, that the mics be cut off when the other candidate was speaking, worked to Trump's benefit, because Trump clearly wanted to interrupt a lot, and that would have hurt him even more. But Trump is now basically running against Weekend at Bernie's, and everybody knows it. So the Democrats have a choice. If they continue to stick with Biden, and I think that's an open question, because I have one question for Democrats. Name me the major donor who would now give Joe Biden any more money. I don't think there is such a person. If the Democrats stick with Biden, they know they will lose the Senate. They know they will not get back the House. They know they will lose governorships. They know they will lose state legislatures. With Biden at the top of the ticket, it's a comprehensive wall-to-wall disaster for the Democratic Party. So they have an existential crisis on their hands.
Indeed. Quickly before we go, Stephanie, Trump suggested that Biden, a second term, would lead to World War III.
His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine.
We only have 30 seconds, Stephanie, but your response?
I mean, Trump, under his presidency, there was peace. And right now we are seeing wars. We're seeing the fight between Palestinians and Israel. We see the war in Ukraine with Putin. The enemies sense weakness, and that's why they are acting out. They didn't do this under Donald Trump's watch. And so that's what this was all about. Is your life better today under Biden, or was it better during the Trump era? And that's what voters are going to have to decide.
John, Stephanie, thank you so much for your time.